Oh my gosh. Avengers Age of Ultron is ridiculously amazing. I don't think I can put it in any other terms other than holy cow, holy cow, holy cow. That's I was like a freaking schoolgirl watching the movie with all the little things going on. Also, if you've been listening to the podcast, I called a special moment. It's nothing major, and I know it's totally a fanboy thing of me saying that right now, but still, I totally called something, and I'm not going to spoil it. I think that next week, or maybe the week after, we're going to give everybody a couple weeks a chance to get out there and watch the movie in theaters before we sit down and we talk about it and really seriously have a major spoiler episode of Geek Stuff Off the Cuff. But this week, this episode 29, is featuring the Midwest Toy Fest. The guys from the Midwest Toy Fest, specifically Michael, called me up, said, "Hey, buddy, are you doing anything? We're going to be going out, and we're going to be doing some really cool things in some comic book shops that we call a store trek." And basically, they're promoting their show by going out to these different comic book shops, toy shops, everything else, and really just doing a grassroots reaching out to the actual fans. And so I took out some gear. I joined them. I met some really great cosplayers. I met the owner of Hometown Comics, which is where we were recording at. And I also met Joseph. He is the director of sales for Toy Fest and an avid listener of the podcast. So Joseph, hi. How's it going, buddy? We also talk with Casey, who is actually on 2 different parts, not because she was amazingly cool, which of course she was, but because she's also the director of programming for the Midwest Toy Fest, as well as a cosplayer. So I encourage you to find her. She goes by the name Casey Super, if you want to look her up on Facebook. And I chatted with the Cos couple. So some really great conversations with them. My book of the week this week is, well, I hate to do this already this early, but it's a do not read. I know it's weird, it's wonky, it's wild, but it's Justice League Dark. I picked up a few trade paperbacks. I started making my way through the first one, and I feel that I'm pretty open about what I read, and I give books a chance, and I can't go any further. It's so boring to me, and I know people are going to disagree with me, and that's okay. That's okay. We're all different, and so be it. So, Justice League Dark, not really my thing. If it is your thing, hit us up on social media and let us know. A little shout out for something cool coming up. May 23rd, Naptown Roller Girls here in Indianapolis are going to be having a Star Wars night. So if you missed May the 4th, and today is, what is this, Revenge of the 5th, then maybe on the 23rd, you can go check out Star Wars Night with the Naptown Roller Girls. Later. I can use it later on down the road. So we are here at Hometown Comics and Games in Greenfield, Indiana. Are any of you guys from Greenfield, by the way?
Nope.
No?
I think we're all from Noblesville.
Everybody's from Noblesville?
Yes. Yeah.
Is Noblesville like the cosplay central of America? Or is it just of Indiana?
Where the cool kids hang out.
Yeah.
Why?
Because we're the cool kids.
We are pretty awesome.
Because wherever we are at, that's where the cool stuff is going on
Exactly.
Yeah, so right now, Greenfield's the cool place to be.
So it moves.
Yeah. It moves when we go somewhere.
Why? Why does it move? Why can't it just stay in one spot?
Well, because we don't stay in one spot.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
All right.
It just comes with us.
Well, cool. On the purple mic, we've got the very furry Super Casey. Or Casey Super, I'm sorry. Casey Super, right? Casey Super, you are dressed up as, or you're cosplaying as...
Astrid from How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Now, I've cosplayed maybe one time in my entire life. How long did it take you to create all of that?
There's about 100 hours into it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not including the acts that I just added, but it's about 100 hours worth of cosplay building.
Cosplay prep?
Yeah, there you go. That's a good word.
How did you get into it?
So I've been
Be
cosplaying.
thinking, because these questions are coming to you guys too.
Put this in your mind, guys. So I've been cosplaying since 2009, and I attended the Superman celebration in Metropolis, Illinois. And after that, I just fell in love with the idea of being able to be your favorite character. That's pretty much my story.
My family recently went to Tennessee on a vacation, and on the trip down there, we opted to take a scenic route, and it was the very first time I ever went to Metropolis, Illinois. What did you cosplay as, one?
My first cosplay was Supergirl.
Okay.
It was the Superman celebration that I was going to. So you're like, what do you got to cosplay as? Supergirl.
Yeah. And then when you got there, was there anything that jumped out at you? Anything that you were just like uber ecstatic about?
Oh my! I think the cosplaying actually. There's actually a very local fan base there of cosplayers. There was an amazing Robin. They actually bring on a Superman cosplayer as their official Superman, and that was. He's amazing. I think the cosplaying actually stood out to me, which is why now I'm cosplaying pretty much full time.
Wow. Tony,
Yes.
Cassandra,
Yes.
this is the cos couple.
Yes.
That's what that's what you guys go by.
Yeah.
Now, Tony, you're dressed up, of course, as Aladdin.
Yep.
And then Cassandra, you are Princess Jasmine.
Yes.
It makes total sense for the cosplay couple. Do all of your cosplays incorporate some sort of a relationship?
No, actually, this is our first one. She suggested we do it because Wizard World came up on Valentine's Day, so we wanted to do a couple cosplay for Valentine's Day.
What have you noticed about cosplaying as a couple versus... Because you guys cosplay as individuals as well, right?
Yeah, we do.
Is there any dynamic differences between the two?
People love couple cosplays, I think. We got a huge reaction, and kids loved us, and I've had little girls coming up and wanting to hug me, and it felt amazing. And when we kind of do our own thing, people think that we're trying to be together in some way. We did a Tomb Raider cosplay and a Wolverine cosplay, and people just thought we were like trying to do it together because we were with each other all day, but we weren't. We like doing our own things a lot more.
Really?
Yeah.
I seriously thought they were married after seeing Aladdin and Jasmine. So
Well, this is the first time I've ever met either one of you, and I kind of thought the same thing. I was like, oh, cool, they're like a couple. And then, like, I'm hearing you guys talk, and it's like, yeah, no. What are your favorite separate cosplay characters?
So far, separate, I think, is my Logan. I really like the Logan that I did a few months ago. Actually, it was almost a year ago at PopCon. AwesomeCon. Yeah, AwesomeCon, I did a Logan, old school Logan, like leather jacket, bone claws. And that right now is one of my favorites.
Pre-puberty Logan before he hit his adamantium.
I have to glue facial hair on myself because I can't grow any.
I think that would be the greatest thing ever to hear Logan try to go through puberty, but like still being really angry. But he talks a little bit higher, he has a squeak in his voice.
It's okay, bub. It's okay.
I'm the best at what this isn't going to work at all. Let's just go.
Give me a few years.
I'll come back, Sabretooth. What about you?
My favorite is my Kita. I actually just recently did it for the Indiana PopCon, Princess Kita from Atlantis. Comic-Con, yeah.
PopCon's coming up.
Yes. It was definitely my favorite. Wearing a white wig was amazing. I felt gorgeous in it. And it was probably one of my best cosplays, in my opinion. I had my crystal light up and everything. It was very, very accurate cosplay, I thought. So
outstanding. Now, you were at Indiana Comic-Con.
Yes.
Did you get a chance to talk to the actual voice of Princess Jasmine?
I've already been asked that today, but no, I didn't.
But not on a microphone that's going to be distributed to the entire world.
Exactly.
So I trust
Hello, world.
Yeah.
the whole world.
Sadly, I didn't. I was mainly in line meeting other celebrities, and it took a lot of time out of my day, so I didn't get my rounds in.
Jason Momoa is very popular with the ladies.
Yes.
Jason Momoa is always popular.
And to be fair, he's playing Aquaman, and I was the Princess of Atlantis, so it kind of fit.
You feel like that gave you some sort of like
it gave me a right. I needed to.
You had like a little card that said Princess of. Excuse me, I need to get to the front of this line.
Yes.
Yeah. That's viable. Now, how long have you guys been doing this? Is this something that you just got into?
We started cosplaying at Gen Con last year. It was our first time. It was kind of like a last minute decision because my job was debating making us work mandatory weekend that weekend, and then like 2 days before Gen Con they said we're not doing it. So I was like, okay, well, let's go. I think we should cosplay, and we kind of just threw something together in those few days and got hooked.
And that costume was, or that cosplay was?
I did a Black Canary, more of an old school Black Canary,
and I did the bank robber Joker from The Dark Knight.
Ooh. And you just threw that together?
Yeah,
I had the pieces in your closet.
I randomly had the mask that he wore at home.
And so we just went to Goodwill, got a few
I just
pieces.
bought a few things. I painted my face underneath it and made my hair green.
My Black Canary I had recently done for Halloween, I think, that year. And it was a little revealing. So I think I got a lot of attention at Gen Con that I wasn't expecting. And so I kind of fell in love with not necessarily the attention, but
That's
felt
why I
very...
I was going to say, I was like, it's okay to say that.
But yeah, like finding people wanted to take my picture, and I didn't think that my cosplay was going to be that amazing. It made me feel really good, and I wanted to do it more, and so we got really into it after that.
We were standing in line, and we actually heard someone take a picture of her butt.
Oh, wow. Wow. Just all of a sudden, just heard
we just heard
the shutter click, and then...
And the oops, I had my camera on. And
my bad, sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
Very discreet.
Creeper.
Casey, Super, what about you? When did you get officially started in your new venture?
It probably would have been 2010. The first time I cosplayed was in 2009, but that was just like I did Supergirl for the Superman celebration, and I just kind of threw it together, had a blue skirt, got a blue long sleeve shirt, and added a Superman symbol to it. And but after that, the next year I actually tried. I worked on Stargirl from the JSA, and
saw a picture of that. It looked really good.
Oh, thank you. It's like version 4 now. You're always updating everything, and so I just kind of started right after the Superman celebration. So
you have a Black Canary too, don't you?
I do have a Black Canary. Yep. And that it is a very revealing costume.
It is, yeah. Especially the old. I tried to go old school, and I wore shorts for Halloween, and I probably should have for Gen Con too, but
but I didn't.
I figured I was allowed a little bit more to.
Yeah.
Tony, I'm gonna talk to the ladies here for just a second, because it's an interesting topic that you bring up. A few episodes ago, Tony, who is the co-host for Geek Stuff Off the Cuff, not that Tony, he doesn't look that good in a purple vest.
Oh, thank you.
It's a different. I love you, honey. I'm married. Hi, honey. And nothing about that. But what I wanted to find out, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit, was that dynamic of females in cosplay and having those random photos. A couple episodes ago, Tony's wife, Emily, was talking about it and giving a female's perspective on it and figuring out and talking about that uncomfortability. But you guys were joking about it before, saying, I'm not going to quote it, but you guys were talking about, well, we kind of are in it for the attention. That's why we're dressing up, and that's what's going on. But from your guys' perspective, like you said before, somebody was snapping some photos, while you were turned around. What is your viewpoint on that? How do you address that, those leering eyes and those...
It doesn't necessarily bother me as much because I know it's going to happen, but I think when people do revealing cosplays all the time, it may just seem like it's for that reason and they love that. But I think that, if you're just into cosplay and you want to have a good, sexy cosplay, or you want to have, I could be a Disney princess one day and then show my butt a little in my Black Canary. That's my personal, choice, I think. And I just think that it doesn't bother me. People are going to take pictures, and
I think as long as you're comfortable in your cosplay, and sorry, I talk like way louder than these guys.
No,
so
you're
like
good.
I start talking and you mess with your little microphone and stuff. I think that as long as you're comfortable in it, then there's not really going to be an issue. I know that the cosplay, is not consent thing is really large right now in the community. As long as you're taking care of yourself, making sure that you are okay with how you come off and how you look, then you're gonna be fine. Is it weird that somebody comes up and takes a picture of her butt in Black Canary? Yes, it is. They should definitely ask. But I think that it's something that's inevitable, and I think it's inevitable in any hobby. You're always going to get some weird person who wants to either hate on you or, you know, do something wrong in any hobby. So I think
or
that
profession.
it's just... Yeah.
You get a plumber. You're
Yeah.
going to see all kinds of their butts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they
True.
should be totally open to
If I want to take a picture of it, I mean,
you shouldn't have to say, hey there.
can I take a picture
Yeah,
of your
just
butt?
I'm paying him to be there. If I want a picture of his butt, I'm taking it.
I think
Done
it's just all
snaking that.
about
I
being
want to take
comfortable.
some photos. Just comfortability?
Yeah, just being comfortable
I did
with
feel
yourself.
very uncomfortable doing my Black Canary whenever I saw children. So that was probably something I didn't like about feeling more revealed, is that I definitely like, now that I've cosplayed as Disney princess, I love when children want to come up to me and hug me and see me, and I want to do more like maybe charity work and things like that.
Yeah.
And so
Hey,
being
random guy.
revealing isn't always...
Hey. No, I do my brand. I build my quote unquote air quotes here brand off of family friendly, because I feel like there is there's always a negative connotation when you go out and you want to reveal, you know, some cleavage, or you want to have your bum out or something like that. I think there's always going to be those haters out there. So I think it's pretty much for anybody who can do cosplays, for anybody, period, as long as you're comfortable with who you are and what you are doing. I mean, if you're comfortable more showing more skin, then go ahead and do that. If you're comfortable more covering yourself up, then do that too.
Yeah, I feel like I don't go to the gym like 5 days a week
exactly, right?
to be completely covered all the time. I do work hard to make sure that I look decent if I am exposing any skin, so...
I've always wondered. It's interesting. The closest that I've ever come to cosplaying is I cosplayed as Ron Burgundy. And that was the closest that I've ever come, and I just stayed in character the entire time. Do you guys get into characters? Are you just basically, hey, we're dressed up, or do you guys actually try to?
I've not stayed in character very well. I
break left and
have
right?
too much fun just kind of mingling and chatting to people. So
And knowing other cosplayers, you kind of just like act like your normal self. But one of my worst experiences, I was so mad at myself afterwards, is at Wizard World. I had a girl come up to me, and she wasn't like a real young girl. She's like maybe like 9, 10 or something, and she asked if my name was Jasmine, and I was like, no, my name's Cassandra. And they were just...
You saw her entire world
and
shatter
I
as she started
didn't want
crying.
like to lie to her, and I just felt like
I think I scolded
guilty,
you for
but
that
yeah,
too.
Tony scolded me. He was like, no, you're Jasmine.
What do you mean you're not Jasmine?
You need to be Jasmine
I'm getting on my
today.
carpet and flying away from here.
So yeah, after that, I vowed I'm always going to be my character at a convention, even if I'm not always 100% in my character. I am that character for that day. So,
Have you guys ever? Do you stay pretty true to the actual cosplay, the visuals, or have you expanded and started doing your own versions? I know that there's a lot of like 2099 stuff that's going on right now. There's a lot. There used to be a lot of steampunk. I'm not seeing quite as much steampunk
I think
versions.
gender bend is super popular right now. Gender bending something,
Okay.
so taking like a female a character and making it a male character. Or I know that Tony just did like Poison Ivy, so he turned it, you know, into his own Poison Ivy. And I've done
Poison Evan.
Sure, yeah.
I'm working on Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, but I'm doing a female version. So I think that gender bending is really popular right now. Also cross-playing, where I would actually be the male character versus, you know, making it feminine. I think those are really popular right now.
yeah, I
Versus
definitely
the
love
steampunk.
gender bends. So.
Hey Don.
I like
Hey,
that
Steve.
shirt.
Gender bending and cross-playing.
Yeah.
And then you just
That's
wander
your
over.
words, right?
That falls into my genre.
Oh, not well. See, when we get I've only got 4 microphones. Well, here, take my microphone. I'm going to give the microphone over to Don. He's the owner of Hometown Comics and Games, and apparently we've sparked an interest in him about gender bending.
I do that. I'm sorry.
Apparently, so we're going to hand the microphone over to him, and he's going to tell us an amazing story that's going to keep you riveted for at least 35 minutes.
35. In 35 seconds.
Go for it.
Well, let's see. Last year I debuted a new cosplay. It's an original character that I created, and it basically goes into people's fears, and people are kind of creeped out by porcelain dolls, especially the ones that are all kind of cracked and broken, and the little baby dolls with the blinky eyes.
They personally terrify me.
And so I created a a cosplay based off of that. And I hand created a mask that has the crack going straight across the face. The eyes are kind of offset because the way that the mask sags. And I broke that out on Friday of Gen Con last year. And I got such great reactions out of it. And because it's a female character. And with the mask and everything, and my physique at 140 pounds, I can pull that off. Well, there is just, I'd be going along carrying the baby doll that I carry with me, which is actually I've created a baby doll that is basically a duplicate of what I look like. And so I'm just carrying it along the whole time. And then some people would just be kind of standing there, and I'd come up and just happen to glance over, and they just kind of go, "Whoa, oh my God, that's creepy." And I took that as compliments because that's where I was going. And, so I go about the con throughout the day, and they were having a little event going out in the hallway, usually where Rusty Balls does his show. And they had like some kind of salesman show going on. It's just part of their gig. And I'm standing there just watching the guys going on about doing his show, and then he kind of casts his eyes across the crowd, and he happens to come across me standing there, and he just kind of pauses for a second. He says, "Oh my God, I just think I just peed a little." And that was pretty much one of my greatest moments in doing that cosplay. But for the most part, people can't tell that I'm male. Is that, it took practice to get the walk down and everything, and because, men just walk differently than women. But I had some good coaches to help me get it down. But yeah, I had an awesome time doing that crossplay. And, some people have asked me, where's that character from? Or where's that character from this anime or that show? And I'm like, no, this is totally original.
So I guess the thing to kind of walk away from this is there are some that cosplay to bring enjoyment to other people's lives, and then there are those that cosplay to bring fear and terror and possibly urination into their pants. So totally different things. So we got just a little bit of time left, and I want to let you guys walk around and start doing whatever you guys want to do. We won't tell him that you guys are shoplifting or anything like that. What do you guys do when you're not dressed up as Disney princesses or whatnot? He's showing a photo now of what he looked like.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I'm a princess.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. I'm an operations manager, so for a local photo booth company. So I just hang out and basically tell people what to do. Yeah.
Boom.
I actually work in a factory making plastic. That is
like generic plastic, or
it's like the plastic putty, and we send it off to other companies, and they mold it into whatever they need it to be.
Oh,
lots of stuff for like the military and car companies and stuff like that.
So legit.
Classified. He
Classified
has to
plastic.
kill you if he tells you anymore.
I just work at the Indie Star downtown, working for the newspaper.
Oh, wow.
Graphic designer. It's a lot of overtime and a lot of my time. So whenever I do cosplay, it's very crunch time.
Gotta
get things done.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah. I can definitely understand that. Well, how can everybody find you online? Or I don't know if you're online. I think Casey Super, you're online.
Yep, I'm Casey Super, and I go by Super Casey on Facebook. Man, somebody just walked in and is jamming out.
AC/DC's playing as that's your theme song now. Is you like?
I feel like I'm an AC/DC girl, but I'm glad that somebody clarified that for me. I'm really glad. But yeah, I can be found online under Super Casey.
Cool.
We actually just started our Facebook page. It's under the Cos Couple.
Okay.
We do have
Cos Couple.
Yes.
The Cos Couple. We do have individual Facebooks as well, but they're more personal Facebook pages, not like not cos.
It's like a fan page, basically.
Yeah,
the cos couple we
would
just
be.
started. Need to send some invites out and get some pictures up, but
Literally just last night.
But yeah,
Got like 4
Yeah,
likes so
we're-
far.
it's
It's
very
awesome.
You guys were like, we should probably have something ready for questions
They
like
were
that.
ready for you, actually.
And that's exactly what it was.
We've
We knew you were
been
gonna ask.
needing to do it for a while. We couldn't think of a name, so we just
Cool.
kind of put it off. But
Outstanding. Well, thanks for sitting down with me for a little while, guys.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you
us.
so much.
That's it.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks.
You are welcome. Don, we've already talked for a little bit. One of my favorite things when I walked into the store was the fact that you knew what you wanted to talk about, which was the past conventions, and you were all excited about. All right, here's my opinion on Wizard World and Indiana Comic Con, and I love it. I think that there's a lot of folks when they get into a position like you own a comic shop, you own Hometown Comics and Games in Greenfield, Indiana.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of folks that get scared at a certain point. They're like, well, I can't really be honest. Like, to a certain degree, as a host of a podcast, a lot of folks have that same mentality that, well, you can only say certain things like radio. Radio can only say certain things. Television can only say certain things. And I'm like, no, that's not the case at all. You can say whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. And it's okay. If somebody doesn't like it, tough. They don't have to listen to it.
Yeah, you have to take your repercussions.
Yeah, we put our opinions out there on things. I mean, whether it's what con went on, or even if it comes to like the religious freedom thing going on with that, is that we are open to all people regardless of their choices in their life. I mean, if I decided to discriminate against people, because of
They have
whatever
blue hair.
they decide, whether they have blue hair like I do,
Yeah.
they have tattoos or piercings or their sexuality or whatever, I'm deciding I'm not going to, I don't want their money.
Yes.
They're good, but we are also a Christian company as well, and we treat our the people that come in our store as we would treat anyone. And
Funny enough, coincidentally enough, both of our employees, well, 2 out of 3 of our employees, one is a lesbian girl and one is a gay man.
Well, hey, you don't have to worry about them hooking up. So,
yeah, but
And then the
even
other
our
one's married, so we're all good.
You're golden. You're golden.
Yeah, but we don't judge people, even though we attend church every Sunday, and we're Christians, but we treat people as we should be treating people as Christians, not brushing them off because of what they do with their lives.
You treat them like a Catholic person truly should, with love.
Yeah.
Not
if you love on
hate.
one another, then that's all that you
Exactly.
need. That's all you need is just to be able to love on one another. So I respect that. Good call for both of you guys. I'm gonna go back a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back before Don, you owned this shop.
Okay.
What did you used to do?
Oh, well, before that, I was in the grocery business, and I spent the last 14 years of the grocery business in the warehousing end.
At a place called Atlas Cold Storage, which is now called Penske. It's gone through a lot of name changes.
Yeah, quite a few over the years. But the company I worked for, they actually paid really well. I mean, the benefits was good. I mean, 401k, health insurance, the whole 9 yards. I made over $20-something an hour working that job. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't happy doing the job. I mean, happy as in the management is what made the job miserable.
Right.
As he would often refer to them, monkeys would run the place better.
Yeah, that they were just
Short of flinging poo at each other.
Yeah, that's just about it.
That's up there with the 401k. I think that's a benefit, a perk that you get.
After my experience with them, that we decided that I needed to do something else, something that brought me joy in my life rather than misery.
Now, all the listeners, Don's getting ready to say some stuff that I completely and wholeheartedly agree with him about, because he's getting ready to make the jump from stability to enjoyment. And I think that there's a gigantic difference between those two. But Don, please continue.
Yeah. I probably make about a third of what I used to make at the warehouse. But yeah, I'm incredibly much happier.
If you were to take the hours that he works between here, after hours, before hours, during hours,
the conventions,
at the house, planning for conventions, if you were to actually take all the hours that he's working something to involve with this and divide it up by how much we're paid to live, he's making far below
I'm probably
minimum wage.
I'm probably making a waitress's salary.
Without the tips.
Without the tips.
But you enjoy getting up every morning and
Exactly.
doing what you do.
Yeah, there's
We're
not
so
a morning.
much-
Yeah, there's not a morning that I get up that say, "Oh God, I got to go into the comic book store again today."
I have to go
never
do
that.
something that I really love.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
you know.
The only time when you have a little bit of, I gotta get up, it's like after a day of convention, it's like, I'm tired. But then you get there and you're like, yeah!
Do you ever get just a little? And by the way, those that are listening, Don is over on the yellow microphone. On the orange microphone, I'm going to let you say your name because, like you said before, nobody says it right. But your name is pronounced
Adriana.
Some people know her as Squeaky.
Yeah, I'm known as Squeaky, or Pinky, or Link, or the Happy Mask Salesman, or Harley, or whatever I'm dressed up as.
all these different aliases that the IRS is jotting down right now. Going, these are okay. We got to find Squeaky. Here we go.
Yeah, Squeaky is definitely a popular name. We have some retailers that one of them can never remember my name, and he'll call after me like, "Hey, Squeaky," I'll be like, "Yep." I love it. I love the name. It was an adopted name. I'd love to tell that story.
We're gaining a reputation, at least a positive reputation, through the conventions as well.
Yeah.
Nice. No, tell the story by all means.
Okay. Squeaky came about in a kind of odd manner. Let's see. She started when I wanted to start doing fursuiting. I wanted to do fursuiting. I'll tell you a quick story of how that started. I always kind of liked it.
She has 4 stories that prelude into how she got the name
this
Squeaky.
one's really quick.
The story within the story.
Okay, so we'll go back a little bit further. So I was born, and then after that moment,
Anyhow, but I've kind of always liked the furry kind of community stuff. I think it probably started with a lot of Sonic the Hedgehog type stuff.
Okay.
Because they're anthropomorphs, and that means that they're animalistic with human traits. That's an anthropomorph. And I kind of liked fursuiting, and one way or another, I kind of got this mentality that I thought it was kind of a bad thing, or I thought it would be looked bad upon, or what have you. Mm-hmm. And one day, him and I, my dad, over here on the yellow,
that's me.
Him and I were looking at some pictures from fur cons or something. I don't know how we got there, but we did. And then he says to me, "I'd like to do that sometime. I'd like to, have a fursuit." And it was like my mind just blew up. I'm like, "You want to do that? I want to do that too." I was like this close to shaking him, going, "We're doing this. This is happening. You have no choice now. You said it."
and Don feared for his life at that moment. Put me down. Put me down.
But it was super great. It was kind of just like, oh my gosh, this isn't something that's bad. And my dad likes it too. That's so awesome. And I had created a fursuit design after a lot of stuff, and her name was Locket, and I haven't made her yet. I don't have a fursuit yet, but I sell a lot of stuff, and I'm basically saving for that. But in the meantime, I watched a lot of fursuit videos, and I found out about squeakers, and they're basically these little voice changers. You blow into them, and they make a sound, and you can move your lips and your tongue to basically manipulate them and make them make different noises, like bird tweets, monkey sounds, dog barks.
So it's more of a voice changer.
Purrs, and
I've never heard of those before. That's interesting.
It's something that I actually sell.
Huh.
I sell them at conventions, and I've got a decent following for them.
Nice.
And so I found out about those, and I found out about a very popular fursuiter, as they're called in the fursuit community, is a popufur, or a celebufur. And her name is Telephone, and she has a squeaker of sorts. She uses something different, but it's still the same premise. You still blow into it and use your lips and such.
Cool.
And so she's very popular. She does that with her squeaker and stuff. I'm like, I kind of want to do that. That looks like a lot of fun. And so I found what I needed one way or another. And funny enough, my job outside of this is actually Kroger, and I'm a bad girl.
Hey, she's in the produce field like Dad.
Yeah.
All right.
Except she wants to spend an eternity
I won't be there not long.
in it like I did.
Eventually, I'll be working here at the store.
Nice.
Well, I do carts outside. I collect them and all that. And sometimes the lot will be relatively empty of people. Everyone will be inside. And so in my time outside, I would use my squeaker. And I would practice out there. And I would occasionally get someone looking around. And I was just like, nope, that's
when someone
definitely
looks
not
at you
me.
with a weird look, that means you're doing something right because it's getting their attention. So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
applaud you. I applaud you for that.
Yeah.
I used to do that. I worked at Target for a while, and I was early morning. They called it flow team, but it was like the early morning stocking. And it was me and my buddy Neil. Neil's been on the show in the past, but he and I were like the youngest guys that were on that early morning shift. So we always got cart duty for like the first 3 hours of the store. We'd have to bring them in. So we made a competition out of it to see how many carts each one of us could push at one time, because one of us would steer. They would do the big like swing out, and then the other person would be the muscle that would do all the pushing.
Someone's the motor and someone's the wheel.
And that was before, but they had those automated motor.
Yeah, over at Kroger we don't have that because we're not a big enough store. I just have to straight up push them.
Yeah.
I've definitely toned up for
Yeah,
it.
but
So
they
who
won't
needs
they won't
exercise?
allow them to push in too many carts because of risk of injury.
Technically,
Probably because there were a couple idiots that worked at Target several years ago that tried to push like 50 carts at one time.
They're
Brief
on
thing
workman's
about
comp for
that
the
is
next 10 years.
their rules state no more than 6 carts. Does anyone follow that? No. I follow it because then they can't tell me, oh, you're not bringing in enough carts. I'm following your rules.
Yeah, you put rules down.
I'm the
Squeak,
only
squeak,
one who
squeaker, and
follows.
squeak, squeak. Yeah.
Yeah, squeak, squeak, squeak. Anyhow, but I would practice out there, and
Oh, that would be a great cosplay for you with that squeaker.
I do have a cosplay for her.
For
the squeaker.
Yeah, pup.
Is it Pup?
She started out as Pup. That's what the story is about. Is her coming to be.
The movie. Oh shoot, The Emperor's New Groove. Remember there was a squirrel, and it was the bigger the.
I actually just recently watched that movie. Funny enough,
I love that movie.
I've been watching a lot of movies.
And I
while
think that
work
would
on
be if
stuff.
you could hook up with somebody else and that dude dressed up as the
Kronk,
yeah, and then you were the
and I was the squirrel.
Yeah, and he was just squeak, squeakerton, squeaky, squeaky, and then you could just like bicker. Yeah,
That would take a lot of practice
that would be fun. I'd have to find some buff guy.
To get
That'd be awesome.
Get that voice that he has.
Oh yeah, that real
Squeaker,
Patrick
squeaker.
Wharton, that real.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyhow.
I have a pretty good range in voices and such that I do.
Could do Scooby
You
and
know,
Shaggy,
you know,
Zork and Steve.
Yeah,
I could do
Zork,
Pikachu and Harley Quinn.
Give us your best Pikachu. She's like prepping. She's getting a glass of water. As the entire store is like, what is going on? And you do a little Shaggy, a little Scooby.
Yeah, a little bit of
Go for it.
Shaggy
He hasn't
and
done
it's
those in a while.
Yeah, I haven't did that in a while because I've been
Okay,
practicing other
Scooby.
voices and such. It was like, let's see. Here we go. Like hey, Fred, the Mystery Machine's got a flat right in front of this spooky mansion.
Did you like the live animated movie? Did you
It was
care
okay.
for
It was okay.
Because I feel like you're more of a classic Scooby Doo.
Yeah, I liked. I thought it was hilarious when they started off the movie with them opening up the back of the van, and you know
the
smoke billows out.
It just comes billowing out, and you're like, "Yep, stoners," and it's like,
hibachi grill or something.
Scooby Dooby, I get it.
Like, hey, Scoob, give me some more of that food off the hibachi.
Got the munchies.
When actually you want to hear, like, hey, Scoob, give me a hit off that joint.
Pass the blunt, man.
Anyhow, but
Well, that took a different turn.
First time I ever
You
used
never know
the
which way
squeaker
we're
in
going
any,
here.
Nope, that's all right.
in any character. I was kind of just messing around as Pikachu. I had a little Pikachu costume I did, and I was messing around with the squeaker, and people ate it up. And then I went to Fandom Fest, and this is where Squeaky really started. There were some fursuit vendors there who were selling tails and stuff like that. And at the end of the convention, they had a few things left, and they gave me a deal on some ears and a tail. And they had these purple ears and a purple tail to match it. but they also had this black and pink tail. There's a hot pink and a black, and I love hot pink, and black always goes so well with it. And so I went ahead and took the ears and the hot pink and black tail, and that hot pink and black tail is a permanent part of Squeaky now.
Oh, nice.
She's a husky. She's a puppy husky because puppies are just like, yeah, let's play, yeah, love me, hug me, ooh, and everything like that.
Hey, at least you don't go licking people's faces.
Not anymore.
But she started there, and I started using the squeaker there. As we were doing breakdown, I started using the squeaker, kind of just messing around with it as I was picking things up. And there was someone who was part of, like, a volunteer who was helping us pack up and stuff. And I was giving him, like, instructions with my hands and the squeaker without actually talking. And so she started there. We went to Indy FurCon last year.
Indy FurCon?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that there was a FurCon.
Yeah, it's over by Keystone at the Crossing is where the hotel is that they do that.
I'd like to go again this year, but the only problem with that is it's actually right after another con, so I'll probably be kind of wiped out.
What con's that?
I can't remember. I think it's either...
Remember what month?
I don't know. He's got to go
Don's
check our...
out. He's leaping over the counter.
Yeah, we have a calendar over there that we call our at-a-glance calendar so that we can check things.
Want to give a big shout-out also to Frances. She's over there manning the register.
Well, we have our fun.
She's making business happen, making the money.
Yeah, like, let's see. Like right now, Midwest Toy Fest is June 6th and 7th. And then at the end of that same month, we have PopCon.
Indy PopCon.
Yep. And
John Smith, shout-out.
Yeah, that's where Indie PopCon. That's where I started wandering around as Pikachu with Squeaker. That
nice.
was the start of her.
Yeah. Then July, there's IkasuCon out in Fort Wayne that we will be at.
Fandom Fest
in Louisville, Kentucky.
I got a story with that one.
August. Cincinnati Comic Expo in September.
I think it might be after Cincinnati.
How many cons do you guys do a year as a guest?
Well,
we do roughly about we work roughly about 12 shows a year.
Okay.
This year, we weren't able to get into Gen Con. We're on their waiting list, but odds are it won't be till next year before we're actually working. We've always went to Gen Con as attendees.
Okay.
And, we have a great time there every year. So it'll change our experience a little bit going as vendors next year. But, I mean, I still enjoy the con every bit as much. Even just as vendors. I mean, you come across so many interesting people to talk to, the cosplays. And, I mean, sometimes you get so busy that you can't get those photos that you want to get of some of the cosplayers. And
do you consider yourself gamers?
I am
gamer, strategy gamer?
I play Pokemon.
Okay.
But very casually.
Yeah, okay. I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player, and I've been playing that for over 15 years.
Nice.
I'm about 50-50 on it. I'm not like a meta player, but I play just for fun because I enjoy the game.
I'd say that my mom and my little sister are probably a lot more the tabletop gamers. They have a bigger focus on that.
Okay.
And I've got my focuses on a lot of other things. As we half jokingly call me, I'm their pop culture consultant. I keep track of whatever's going on, whatever's popular.
Yeah, because she's doing Midwest Toy Fest, or not Midwest Toy Fest. I'm doing Midwest Toy Fest, but she is doing HoosierCon in about 2 weeks, actually at the same hotel
at the Wyndham
that Midwest Toy Fest is at.
Yeah.
And
I'll see her there. I'll be there for a day or two.
Oh.
I like gaming. I'm a big guy. I never got into Yu-Gi-Oh. I never got into Pokemon. I think I was, because I'm 32. So when I got into
much
gaming,
older than me.
I hit like the HeroClix phase. When HeroClix first got introduced, that's what pulled me into it.
Clicks group down here,
and it's still going.
Yes, it's still alive and well. Yeah. We have 2 days that we have organized play here at the store.
What I miss though is the Versus. You guys remember Versus at all? Marvel and DC.
Never.
It was their version of Magic for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, it's a tough market in the card games.
It is. It's hard for anything to get going. We're supporting Vanguard right now.
Yeah, Card Fight Vanguard has actually been picking up a lot. I mean, like here locally, I think it's overtaken Pokemon in sales. And
really? Yeah. Well, Pokemon sells better in certain
Card
areas.
Fight Vanguard.
Card Fight Vanguard.
Yeah, it's a really cool game.
It has a pretty good following.
I really love the art on all the cards. The cards are they're really pretty. They're really, really cool.
A lot of anime style.
A lot of anime style, definitely.
Nice.
The art on them are worth collecting just in themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I got one more question and we'll wrap up. I want to let you guys get back to your friends and your clients and your customers and everything else that's in here. You were talking before about being able to come here and quote unquote work is a joy and is a blast and is it's one of those very few things that people in their lives get to say, this is something I get to do and I'm excited about doing. And we made a joke earlier about, you get to wake up and you get to say, I'm excited about going in. I worked at a comic shop. I managed one of the downtown comics shops on the west side. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I loved working there, and I loved going in, except for one day. And that one day was Wednesday, which is New Comic Book Day.
Oh, yeah?
And the reason why is I loved talking to people about comics. And because it was so busy, I never... It was like the business part of things took over. So... And a shop like that, which compared to a shop like what you've got, is their shop was about half the size. They've since moved and they've gotten a much larger shop, which is great. But I always found it difficult for Wednesdays because it was just so full of people coming in and buying books and them like wanting to talk. But then you have a line of 3 or 4 people that are also wanting to purchase. And it was, do you guys have days like that?
Well, ours is pretty well spread out throughout the day. I mean, we get our rushes, which we...
like the lunch hour rush.
Well, when we get a lot of people that come in all at once, I mean, it could be dead for half an hour, with just a few stragglers coming in, that suddenly, we got 10, 15 people that all come in at once, and we jokingly say, well, someone must have sent out the email, everyone meet up at Hometown Comics.
The tweet went live. Let's go, guys.
And but I still have time to talk to people. Just my drawback is that I don't have the time that I would like to read as much as I would like. I mean, I carry 300 plus different comics on our wall, and I'm just scraping the surface at the ones that I can read. There's a few that I make sure I find time to read. I mean, even on a Tuesday night when I'm putting the stuff on the shelf, because how we do it is we get our stuff in on Tuesday. As soon as the doors close on Tuesday night, I'm putting the stuff on the shelf. Then I just come in Wednesday, voila, it's all ready. And I'll be putting the stuff out, and then I'll come across one of the comics that I want to read. I will literally stop in the middle of my work, sit there on the floor, and read through the entire book. Yeah. And then, back to work.
Yeah.
But I can do that. It's my place.
Even with the fact that I don't work here on a regular basis. I'm not paid here. But I do work whenever I am here. I'm often here before or after work, since my work is right across the street from our store.
You can push carts over here. Let them use them through the store. Load them up. I'm sure he'd give a discount if you load up a shopping cart worth of merchandise.
That would be pretty crazy if someone grabs one of the.
Why do all these carts say Kroger? No, it's Kroger. It's a new versus system tournament that we're.
We'll just
promoting.
make labels and stick it across the
stick it on there.
The handlebar that says Kroger, and it's just say Hometown.
Just change a couple of letters, so instead of it saying Kroger, it says Trogdor, and you're like, no, this is perfect. No, this
Trogdor,
is homage.
Yeah.
No, I know we'll have hit big time when we have to have carts in here for people to push around.
Yeah, that would be a little crazy. I don't even know if I want that.
It's not tight by any means. The store layout is great, but we've got a tiny tot. We've got a 1-year-old, and bringing her into some place like this is all about the stroller. But you could still get around with the stroller in here if you need to. You just have to keep those little hands from grabbing
everything.
Yeah, everything that you drive by.
We were founded in what I call our shop was born in the basement of a bank.
Okay.
And that meaning is that in the historic downtown area of Greenfield, there's a bank building down there, and it has a lower half and an upper half, which is like the main floor. And so we actually opened in the lower half of the building in the front, and you just went down about 4 or 5 stairs to get to it.
Thinking about it now, it was so teeny tiny.
Yeah, it was roughly about 500 square feet for our store.
How many years ago was that?
Does that count the room that was?
No, that's just Stell's floor.
Okay.
And that was almost 6 years ago, because we hit 6 years come June 6th
Oh, wow.
coming up.
That's outstanding.
But we started off very conservatively because there was nothing of this kind in Greenfield. And we had to test the waters in an untapped market to find out, will Greenfield be susceptible to this kind of
It sounds like the end of like a 1966 Batman episode. Will a comic shop make it in Greenfield?
Yes.
Find out
next time.
in 6 years.
But
Well, it's kind of crazy to think about that. Back when we were first starting and all that, we were lucky that our goal at the end of the day, you always have a goal of each day you want to make this much so that, stay afloat. Back then, our reasonable goal was $100.
$100 in a day.
Hey, that's not a bad... I mean...
if we were making $100 here, we'd be.
I know. I know.
We'd be living in those Kroger carts.
There's something wrong if we're doing $100 a day here. I mean, that wouldn't pay for the lights.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. How it changes so much that. But I think that attests to your dedication to the passion behind and underneath what's going on. $100, even back then, $100 is probably enough to more or less break even, maybe just a smidge under even.
Yeah.
But you're like, no, we're going to push forward. We're going to make it. And I mean, you're in a great location now. You've got ample space. I think the back part of your retail store is for game rooms.
Yeah.
So when I came in, there was all kinds of gamers back there. When I was walking in, guys were carrying binders of cards and whatnot. So I applaud you. You guys have done a great job. Well done.
Thank you.
So anything? How can people find you? I mean, they can obviously drive down the road and check out your shop. And the address is, I don't have your address in front of me.
We're 1506 North State Street, which is also State Road 9.
Okay.
We're on the main drag, as they call it here in Greenfield, where a lot of the bigger businesses and such are. We're just off of 70.
Okay.
I-70.
If you're coming from Indianapolis, which is where I came from, it's right off of
for anyone
the
trying to find us, we're usually like, do you know where the McDonald's is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Behind the Wendy's.
Okay. You see the Wendy's next to the McDonald's? Behind them. We're right there, right next to Dollar General.
As humans, and we're food oriented, we know where all the food places are.
Exactly.
It's like, you know where Wendy's is? Yes, I know where Wendy's is because I eat
behind there.
Behind there, right next to Dollar General.
Yes.
Can they find you online? Do you have a website?
Yes.
Yeah, we're hometowncomicsandgames.com.
But if you want more recent information, you can probably find us on Facebook. That's where we post a lot more.
Nice.
Yeah, we're Hometown Comics Greenfield on Facebook.
Hometown Comics Greenfield.
Yes.
On Facebook. I'll make sure that we like you and we'll cross paths once again. Thank you both for coming on and talking about your passions for a little while. And business is starting to pick up. More and more people are coming in, so I don't want to monopolize your time. But
it's exciting.
Yay. So,
but people can talk to us some more out at the Midwest Toy Fest, which will be coming up here shortly.
Absolutely. June.
I'm always happy to talk to people.
June 6th and 7th, Midwest Toy Fest. Squeaky McSqueakerton here might be there, and squeak. You can find them at the Midwest Toy Fest down at the Wyndham, Indianapolis West. That is where the old airport location. That's where it's going to be at.
If I could plug myself for a moment, you can find me on Facebook as Squeaky the Husky, or you can find my business Facebook as Happy Mask Artistry.
Boom. Done and done. Thank you both. Cool. So on the yellow microphone, we've got our good friend Joe.
Hello.
Wow, that was delayed.
Nice.
Did you think about what you wanted to say before you said it?
I was confused. I was looking for the cue card. There was none.
No, there's no cue cards. Casey Super has moved from the purple microphone to the orange microphone.
To the orange microphone.
Why did you move?
Because Mike took the purple one.
Because Mike superseded, because he has more stake in the company.
He has more stake than me in the company.
And then Mike is on the purple microphone.
Hey guys,
welcome back, Mike.
Thank you.
If you've all listened to the show, so you know that we keep this super loose, nothing too deep. But Joe, I did want to find out. I want to ask you a really deep question. Female hair removal. How do you feel about that?
Well, whatever works. Whatever
with you,
works.
man.
Removal
Whatever.
from
I
where?
thought you were going to ask him about his fantastic man beard that he has going on right now.
Are you normally not a hairy guy?
I'm a facial hair aficionado.
Are you really?
Yeah, so I will wear a beard one week, a goatee another week, or just go smooth.
Are you like big bushy beard type, or are you just like
Nope.
trimmed?
Nope, nice trim, short.
You got to rock the Rick Grimes mid-season, just lumberjack.
Oh,
Season
the one that you
5
feel like you
where-
can pick fleas out of it.
2
like-
inches deep.
When winter is getting long and you don't want to go outside, I
Winter
will
is
sometimes
coming, my
have
friend. Winter
have
is
a
coming.
Rick Grimes season 5 beard.
Have you watched what is that show on Fox, The Last Man on Earth?
Mm-hmm.
That type of
He's
beard.
he's rocking a nasty man beard.
Only for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Now that beard is
Ooh.
gone.
Spoiler
alert!
alert. Spoiler
Yeah,
alert.
there you go.
Whoa, if you guys are really into that show.
And he's
Premiere Sunday night.
Yeah, 4 weeks ago. So sorry about you if I ruined the whole beard effect. But these lovely folks are part of the Midwest Toy Fest, which is coming to Indianapolis June 6th and 7th at the Wyndham Indianapolis West Hotel. What I know that you, my friend, are Mike, is the communications director. What I did not know that Casey Super was part of this. This is very new to me. I know. Yeah, I got sidelined, and then Joe. Not only are you a part of the hair club for the group, but you also take care of, I guess, the plaid shirts that are going to be
He
showing up
boosts
as well.
the manliness,
Yes,
actually.
I try to add the lumberjack appeal.
You bring a
to the
bottle of
show.
testosterone
Yes,
to everything that you do.
Steps in with every purchase.
But what do you guys do? What are your parts?
I'm the events programming director, so I'm taking care of all of our guests, the panels, the costume contests, all of the events that are going on during the weekend.
Nice.
My official title is Director of Sales.
Okay.
And I think that's not limited to, just sales. We put together our store treks as well. So, we take care of kind of the vendor relations and kind of community outreach as well.
Now, I did not know about this store trek thing, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I did a little bit of research. Now, normally I don't do any research at all, but I did a little bit, and it looks like it's an outreach event. You're just trying to get into the hands, literally, of the fan base that might be coming out to the show, getting out, letting people know who you are. Who came up with the idea?
Joe.
As Mike points over to Joe.
Joe. It's just us. I mean, we're all fans. That's it. It comes down to it that we are all fans. And what would we like to see? We'd like to see our favorite shows reaching out to us and being available to us. So
It's kind of a guerrilla, marketing kind of thing where we're, like she said, we're just fans trying to put on a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have, a Kickstarter backing. We don't have, a limitless source of resources. So what can we do that's going to help, some of the local shops, but also help ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
So we come out, we hang out. Hopefully we draw a few people into the store, give away some passes, inform some people, and have a good time.
I think it's a smart move. I think that you use the word guerrilla tactics, and for all intents and purposes, I don't know what you are
that's
doing.
Michael Elliott. He's our official photographer.
Hi, Michael
so.
Elliott. I put my hand up in front of. I'm sorry.
I waved.
Yeah.
I
He
waved
has an
too.
action shot.
Yay! I think it's a good call. I think that, and I don't want this to come out the wrong way, but that reputation that Indiana Comic Con has or Wizard World has, just that big national, almost global branding that they have, you don't have, and that's not a bad thing. I like the underdog. I like the smaller guy coming up and saying, hey, I want to do something for the fans, by the fans, and you have to approach that as the smaller guy. You can't do the big, multi-million-dollar marketing things that they can do. So props to you guys for taking a step back and saying, okay, what can we do? Well, let's reach out to the local comic shops, game shops, and whatnot. Let's get in the store. What's it going to cost you guys? Time. That's all that it's really coming out of your pocket is that time, energy. And now the photographer's right behind Casey Super, and I feel like I have to not look at him.
Puff up your chest
Talk
a little
to
bit.
a smile.
Candid shot. So you have to smize.
Smize. Smirk.
So what are your favorite parts about this aspect of it, about the Super Trek, the visiting stores?
I'm a collector myself, and I think we all are as well. So getting my shopping done is nice.
Oh,
You know,
nice.
and getting
Yeah.
out there, and I may get in a little bit of trouble because every trek I end up seeing something that I have to have in my collection. And picking it up, but on another notice, just meeting new people and getting out and getting to spend some time with potential vendors as well on a personal level. So it's nice just to meet all kinds of new people and enjoy an awesome Saturday afternoon at a comic shop or a toy store. So what better ways to spend some time?
I want to challenge the store. I want to send out a challenge right now that throughout this podcast episode, I want to get as many people that are in the store to get behind Joe and to have pictures taken as we're recording, just to make him feel really weird. Because it's starting right now with Cassandra and Tony. They just kind of popped in. They got a quick photo. So anybody that's in the store that can hear me, just jump over and make him feel really awkward. Just put your hand on his shoulder.
Oh, no.
He's all red now. I can't believe this. Here comes John Moster.
And as that
John
goes
Allen
on,
Scott
I'm going to
online.
direct it over to Casey Super.
What's up?
What are some of your favorite things about this whole trek around? Is it just Indiana, or are you guys going outside of Indiana as well?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, we actually last weekend we were in Dayton, Ohio, and I think from here on out we'll be in Indiana. Do we have? We're going to Muncie as well, so I think we're going to round out in Indiana, and as it grows, we can branch out Cincinnati, whoever wants to. And spend some time with us. We'll
South
go hang
Africa.
out. Yeah,
I
Jersey.
definitely South Africa.
The places that make sense.
Yeah.
One of our goals was when we sat down to look at this, and we were really kind of kicking around, what can we do? We want to do something. We're in a position in life where we can now contribute back. What do we want to do? We don't want to just do, what's already being done by other shows and being done well. So we wanted to try to have a bit more of a regional flavor, more so than just in the state, more so than just in the city. So we've made extra effort to try to reach out to Ohio, Illinois, Kentucky, Michigan, places there, try to pull them in, because most of the time when you go to a convention, you don't want to see the things that you could go down the street and buy. Like, you don't want to go see the vendors that are your hometown vendors, and so you want to see more than that.
Yeah,
you want to. That's the point of going, is to see stuff that you don't see on a regular basis. So we're trying to broaden the reach just a little bit.
Are you as fans? Are you guys excited about any certain aspect or any certain group thing that you haven't really been able to get your hands on here locally? Because we're all from Indiana, right? Indianapolis based.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that you guys are really stoked about that you just can't wait for?
At Toy Fest?
Yeah, Toy Fest.
I'm always I really want to see the creativity of the costumes that are coming out.
Cool.
We've had a lot of interest from the cosplay community. With Casey being a big part of that.
It's always about Casey.
It's always about me.
She has so many
Always
friends
comes
and
back
contacts
to
in that
Casey.
community, and so I'm
It's the pretty
really
face.
looking forward to seeing what people come up with, because they'll pretty much be people from this area. So, that'll be kind of cool to see people from my community, my local community, are doing this. I feel like some of the bigger shows have such a much wider pull that, you see these amazing costumes and you find out, oh, they're from New York. Oh, they're from, Florida or wherever. So it'll be interesting to see, what the local community comes up with.
Yeah. And that's not saying that if a Florida Comic Convention or a New York Comic Convention reached out to myself or Casey or whatnot and said, hey, we want you to come out, that I guess we could make the trip
I
if
guess
needed.
so.
Well, that's part of the perception that, I've heard a couple people, put forth that, somehow you must be at odds with other shows, and that's not the case. We really, the more shows the better, because we're not going to get to enjoy our show very much because we'll be working the whole time.
Yeah.
So we go to all these other shows and we participate in those, and then this is our, paying it back to the community that we're from,
Sure.
and trying to put on a good time. So we really don't have any sort of competition between other shows and us. It's just, we'll come to your show. Hopefully you'll come to ours.
Yeah. I'm excited about it. This is the first ever Midwest
Yep.
Toy Fest, so I'm very secure in saying I've never been to one before. So I'm very, very good.
You
and
did
very,
that
very
research,
confident.
right?
I
Are
did.
you sure?
That was a little bit of research that I
Okay.
did do. Was quickly glancing over at Mike and saying, "This is the first one, right? Yeah, perfect." So that
Awesome,
means that what I'm
awesome.
saying next is true.
Every once in a while, I do run into someone who swears they came last year or they came 5 years ago, and I usually tell them, this is the first year for us, and give them that a couple times. But about the fifth or sixth time, I just say, oh yeah, I remember you from 5 years ago. Sure.
okay, so I don't know why this question popped in my head, but I was talking with Don earlier about food and about like fast food, and that you can kind of relate comic book shops to like restaurants that are close by. What do you guys like to eat? And I know that's like a really left field question, and it has nothing to do with Toy Fest, but like, what are some of your favorite
I seriously like to eat everything.
Okay, let me pose this.
Everything.
If a guest of the Toy Fest is going to be coming to the show and they wanted to win your heart over with a single solitary food item that they could purchase somewhere and bring to you to the show, what would that be?
Cheeseburger from Drake's.
Boom. Any specifics on that? Like no pickle, extra mayonnaise, human head? I don't know.
Just put some ketchup and lettuce on it, and we're good to go.
Boom. Okay.
Ooh, you have to have the fries as well. Remember, the fries are so good. I'm a foodie. I love all types of food.
Cupcakes.
Cupcakes?
Yeah.
Any specific flavors?
Not chocolate.
Not chocolate.
Anything besides not
She
chocolate.
does not like chocolate.
I hate chocolate.
How do you-
Ew, I don't know.
And that makes me want to strap her to the chair, like dunk her in water.
Yeah, Cassandra doesn't like
Seriously?
chocolate either.
Not a chocolate fan? Why?
I don't know.
I'm a chocolate. Oh, I can't get enough of chocolate. Dark chocolate, milk chocolate.
Man, I don't know.
chocolate,
There's
chocolate.
something about it. Like, I guess if you mix in
Chocolate-covered
like
chocolate.
enough of something else, I can have a little bit of chocolate. But
Yeah,
like
she can
milk,
tolerate it.
ugh.
Is it just the chocolate cupcake or chocolate in general?
Just chocolate in general. I don't like chocolate milk, chocolate ice cream.
think we're done
don't-
here.
I
I
think
don't-
we are done here. I'm sorry. We can't
Believe
be
me.
friends anymore.
At least she likes ice
If I
cream.
had known this before,
As long as it's not chocolate ice
Yes.
cream?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
She
yeah.
will eat ice
Sweets,
cream.
man. That's my thing.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Okay, so
She likes sweets, but
burger
not
from you said
chocolate.
Drake's.
Drake's, yeah, Drake's at Keystone.
Oh man,
Casey, you can throw it out there. Oh, you said cupcakes.
Cupcakes, man.
Cupcakes. Other than
Like a dozen cupcakes.
So-
If they really wanted to win my heart over, they can bring me a dozen cupcakes.
I think we could probably arrange cupcakes and probably the burger too.
I've been on a tamale kick.
Really?
I have been on a
Tamales.
tamale kick.
Any specific
I've-
little local shop?
I've been visiting this place called the Tamale Place quite a bit.
That's a creative name.
I wonder
Very
what they
creative.
serve there.
I don't know how they came up with it.
They
but,
really only have diet soda there.
Yeah.
They
no
sell Diet
tamales.
have
Coke,
Diet Coke
cheeseburgers,
and cupcakes.
and cupcakes. So it's a
There's
perfect shop
It's
for you
actually
two.
a- yeah.
Tamales.
One of my
It's
favorite
crazy.
places.
But
And it's named Drake,
I've
so I
I
don't
think
know.
that would be the greatest PR move, though, is to like name your restaurant the exact opposite of what you have.
Oh yeah.
And then
So I've
people
been
would
on a
walk
big-
in and like
huge
punch you in
tamale
the
kick.
face.
Tamale kicks. All right. Well, there you go, listeners. If you're on your way out to Toy Fest, or Midwest Toy Fest, I need to specify that, then stop by, pick up some tamales, some cupcakes, and a cheeseburger from... Is it cheeseburger or hamburger?
Oh, cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburger.
They
He's
put
like,
it
I don't...
have
I gotta have
He doesn't
something.
joke
Terrific
about burgers, guys.
cheeseburgers. They have terrific cheeseburgers.
Well,
there.
it's just we meet there every once in a while to talk about things for the show, and they melt this cheese. It's like just like a cascade of cheese coming down all sides of the hamburger, and then
You just know you're not going to poop for a
You're
couple of
not-
days.
it's heavenly.
You're definitely not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah.
You go to Drake's when it comes to cheeseburgers.
So something that Joe and I were talking about earlier was in a previous episode we did a fan cast, if you will, where I did a lot of recordings and interviews with different fans that were at this most recent, the Indiana Comic Con. And one of the gentlemen that was there was just not excited. Was not excited about being there. He was not excited about being a part of it. This is going to be kind of another left field question for you guys. Is my thoughts and my feelings towards why he wasn't excited was that it was too niche. It was too specific for a certain thing. And how, for you guys, and with with Midwest Toy Fest, what type of an approach are you going to take to diversify it, to make it open to? Because when you hear the term Midwest Toy Fest, I think you instantly think it's going to be toys. It's going to be a whole bunch of toys, and that's about it. But when you look and you research into it, there's a lot more than
yeah,
just
definitely.
that. So, aside from toys, what are some other things that you guys are going to be focusing on, putting some attention to, if you will?
I think one of the nice things is that we have a large variety of ages in our group.
Mm-hmm.
We have older generation versus
she's not
young.
looking at Joe and Mike directly at all as she says that.
So with them, they're both toy collectors, hands down. They're toy collectors. I'm not a toy collector, so we get to bring in our different fandoms to our show. So I'm really into anime and cosplaying and comics. So we've got our comic vendors coming in. We've got 2 cosplay competitions. We've got panels on toy collecting. We've got all these different things, trying to make sure that everybody has something. Because if I walked into a show just toys, it would be too niche for me. So I think that having the different outlooks of what we're into coming to our show makes it more pop culture-y, I guess.
One thing that we looked at from the beginning, and we've tried to be very cerebral about our planning, and because we have a lack of experience, we want to overcompensate by trying to be thoughtful and trying to figure out how it's going to go. And we looked at it and we said, well, there's a point at which it gets too wide. I mean, kind of the point of a convention is it's like-minded people who are interested in the same thing.
Yeah.
So you've got, on one end of the spectrum, too niche, and the other end you've got too broad. And so we started looking at the overlap. Comic books have, there's so much toys based on comic books. There's movies based on comic books. There's movies based on toys.
Wait, what did that happen?
Hold on a second.
What is a comic book?
What movies?
So, if you take the broadest definition of toy, we kind of felt like comics, video games, costumes, all of this stuff is kind of like got a lot of gray area, a lot of overlap into each other. So we tried to kind of glom into that, puddle of stuff.
Yeah.
And diversify it as much as we could in that way. But, we aren't going to focus a lot on trying to get somebody from a TV show to show up. That's kind of, a step beyond, where we're at this point.
Yeah.
But we divided our areas into 4 basic areas. We've got the kind of the dealer room where there's going to be a lot of toy vendors, comic book vendors, and all the other kind of things that go with it. We've got Artist Alley, which a lot of conventions have, an Artist Alley. We have one area we're calling Cosplay Corner, which is going to have just nothing but cosplay. The 501st will be there.
One corner. It's a 5x5 corner. They're just all going to be jam-packed.
Actually, they all have one booth to share, so there's going to be 20 people at one
booth. They're all going to be stacked on top of each other.
Yes. Exactly.
And they're going to play a human Jenga, which I think is going to be a lot of fun.
It's 7 6-foot tables on top of each other.
If you've ever seen Hollywood Squares, yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's Mock Shell is going to be right on top of me, and there we go. Boom, done. Ready to go.
And then, the fourth area is we have an area with a stage and a bunch of seating and some tables in the back for people if their kids are freaking out or something. They can kind of go in there and kind of sit and rest. But that will be the cosplay stage, but it'll also be the panel room. So that was kind of the four areas that we decided to delve into at this point.
It feels like the term toy is more of an emotional feel rather than a physical item with your show, because when you think of toy, you think, okay, I'm not going to say you think. When I think of the word toy, I think of a child's plaything, which sounds like it's a total ripoff of Toy Story, but it's not. But it's a passionate thing that they want to do, that they want to enjoy, and you're more or less just taking that term toy and making it more of a passion fest. But you can't use that because you get a totally different group of people.
So completely different marketing campaign for that.
But I think it's a good approach. I think once you kind of think through, okay, this is the adult, this is not even necessarily adult, but this is the family, all generations approach to what your interests are, what you love, things that are creatively, mustering in your mind, whether it's toys or games or cosplay or whatnot. Come and interact and play with one another and have a good time. So I like it. I like it.
Ideally, what would be my ideal, outcome would be a family of 4 comes in. They've got a couple of kids under 12 that get in free. They've got a couple, a mother and a father, and they find something at our show that appeals to each and every one of them. And those 4 things are different. That would be the ideal outcome to me.
All right, well, we're going to wrap up right here, but I want to go back through everybody one more time. Give the details about where it's going to be at, what's going on. Give some shout-outs to maybe websites and whatnot else.
Sure. My name is Mike Trent. It's going to be June 6th and 7th at the Wyndham West. It's Midwest Toy Fest. Admission for 2-day pass is $11. Sunday only is $6. Children under 12 are free. and I think you're going to have a good time. Check us out on Facebook, www.midwesttoyfest.com, and we're also on Twitter.
We're going to have several panels on Sunday, so definitely come by then. We're going to have a kids costume contest and a adult costume contest that day. Saturday night, we're actually having a drink and draw as well from 9 to 11, being hosted by Stuart Sager. We're going to have lots of local talent in our cosplay corner, as well as our official photographer, Michael Elliott, so definitely check us out.
If you didn't win tickets today at Hometown, we have a few other stops queued up for the rest of the season on through. We'll end 5/23. It'll give you a week to prepare for the show. Just keep an eye out for our Facebook as we roll out the announcements for each stop.
And they can find you on Facebook by just searching
Midwest Toy Fest.
Yeah, actually, if you go facebook.com/Midwest Toy Fest, all one word, it'll cut you right to us.
Cool. Any hashtags in effect right now?
I think so.
Okay. That's okay.
Hashtag awesome.
It, yeah.
we will come up with some more
throat
hashtags.
punch.
Well, thanks for coming by. I do appreciate it. That's going to wrap it up for everybody here at Hometown Comics and Games in Greenfield, Indiana. Make sure that you guys come out to the Midwest Toy Fest. There's a camera right there. And I'm going to say good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.
Woo!
Yay!